The great state of Maine has many stories, and a number of them are actually based in true historical events, like the one we're going to talk about today. Here we're going to head down to the town of Rockport, formerly known as Goose River during the time of the Revolutionary War, to hear a very interesting ghost story that may not be what you think it is. Episode 6, Goose River Bridge. The town of Rockport was officially incorporated in 1891. However, citizens have lived here in this little coastal town since the Revolutionary times, when it was known as Goose River. It's a great place to visit, with lovely shores. You can go out and see some boats, and it's even the home of one Andre the seal. But today, we're going to talk about a different area near the coast, a small bridge with a kind of fun story. So let's get right to it.
Hello there. Welcome back to... Wait, hold on a second. Oh, that's better. All right, I'm back. Welcome back to Stranger Maine. I know it's been a while since our last episode, so I really hope you enjoy this one. I brought you down here to lovely Rockport, Maine, right here on the water, and I want to tell you probably the least scary ghost story you're ever going to hear. It has a fascinating connection with the Revolutionary War, of all things, and it involves the bridge you can see behind me, the Goose River Bridge. Now, to be right up front, this bridge, obviously, is not Revolutionary War era. It has been replaced in the years since. But this story was just so good, I had to share it with you. So let me tell you the history behind it right up there at top of the bridge. I'll see you up there. All right, so I'm up here on the Goose River Bridge overlooking the spot that I was actually in a little bit ago because I want to tell you some of the history about this story. So way back in the Revolutionary War, cities like Rockport that were right on the water were vital. They were places where ships could come in, drop off supplies, pick up people, gather intel. They were vital to the effort. So a local named William Richardson became a hero. And how he became a hero is a pretty good tale. So during the war, there was a supply ship that had borrowed some supplies from a British ship they had visited. And they were coming back to provide those supplies to the Continental Army. The problem was that a British warship had flagged them down and were chasing them. Now, they were trying to get here to Rockport to try to unload the items. The problem was there was no way they were going to do it before they were overtaken. That's where William Richardson comes in. He had actually seen the ship and helped guide them up the river system here, away from the shore. So when the British came through right behind them, there was no sign of it. The supplies were hidden long enough. They managed to get them unloaded and given to the folks they needed to. Pretty cool thing. And a pretty big effort on his part, because frankly, if it had been found out he had helped, clearly that would have been a death sentence. So William did his great deed, and he was well known for this. Fast forward a bit to 1793. Revolutionary War is over. News travels up here that the British have lost. They've surrendered at Yorktown. Really good news, right? And you'd be correct. It was great news. William is one of those people who really enjoyed the news, so much so that when Rockport decided to throw a huge party, he got 2 tankards of beverages that he then went door to door, knocking on people's doors and refilling their cups. He wanted to make sure everyone knew that freedom was a pretty sweet taste. So where's the ghost story part, you might ask? I mean, this sounds pretty good. Revolutionary War hero, he helped supplies get to the Continental Army, had a huge party afterwards. Well, that's where the bridge comes into play. As it turns out, William was wandering around with his tankards of beverages, and he got to the bridge and he started to cross it when 2 men on horseback, according to the story, showed up. So he did what he had been doing. He offered them a drink, the neighborly thing to do. This is where he met into a bit of a problem. The 2 men were Tories. It's a term they use for people who were loyal to the British Crown. And needless to say, the 2 Tories were not overly ecstatic that England had surrendered and that America was free. And unfortunately, they decided to take that frustration out on a man who at that moment was celebrating the loss of their crown. And they killed him, right here on this bridge, or the bridge that was here. We're going to stick with historical accuracies. So you might expect from here to hear the tale of a man's ghost wandering by, yelling and frightening those who would pass. But I'm going to tell you the story, and it may not be what you expect. So here we go.
The story goes that for those who are brave enough to cross the bridge at night, in the dark, they may come face to face with the ghost of William Richardson, a man who died a very violent death at the hands of two people who were very upset about the very cause that he was celebrating. They say that he's still carrying the 2 pitchers of beverages, and he'll even offer it to those passing by on the bridge. He'll offer to fill your glass to toast the great General George Washington. He'll give you a drink to celebrate the lives lost fighting to free this country. And most importantly, he'll want to have a drink with you to celebrate the birth of this new nation. No anger, no vengeance, no terribleness. Simply a man who just wanted to keep living the good life during his afterlife. So much so, they say he even tries to pass out drinks to the cars going over the bridge.
So as I said, that's probably the least scary ghost story you're ever going to hear. No calls for vengeance or blood or making him join you. He's just a friendly guy who wants to keep the party going to celebrate a country he helped free. So with that, William, it's not what you were drinking, but it's going to work. I say, raise a glass to freedom. And I'll see you guys next time.